Hello, I'm Coach Mike Doretto, head dating and social freedom coach for Infinite Man. Today's video is about focusing on your process instead of your results, which is a topic, a crucial topic that all of us personal development coaches love to talk about. We talk about it so much because it's a really powerful way to live your life once you get the hang of it. And don't get me wrong, it's not necessarily easy to do. It takes a good amount of practice, so I suggest you start now. In the coaching clip that's coming up, a graduate of our bootcamp program asked me to explain a little bit more about why it's so important not to obsess about results. I explain what happens when you spend too much time thinking about specific outcomes and how that can actually make achieving those outcomes much harder to accomplish. Dissonance, desperation, and not taking action. Learn how to avoid all of these mistakes by focusing on your process. Coming right up. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video if you want an example of how to use the process versus outcome concept for building your career too. Like most of the things we teach, this concept is not just for dating. Now on to the clip.
Okay, I just had a question about the more I give a shit like about an outcome, like the less it'll go the way I want it to go, right? The more I force an outcome.
Right. So you should be focused on the processes, not the outcomes. The more that you're invested in an outcome to go a specific way, the more likely that you are going to behave in a way that makes it less likely to happen, right? So if, for example, you're like, I really want to have sex with this specific woman, and if I don't have sex with this specific woman, I'm going to feel really heartbroken and really upset and really depressed and whatever. If that's how you feel, the chances that you behave attractively around that woman are going to be a lot less because of all of this fear and negativity that's running around in your head. You're probably going to be more timid, take fewer risks, not reveal as much of your authentic personality. You might say and do things that somebody else told you was a good idea, but you don't really believe in them, therefore making yourself even more inauthentic and creeping her out more. If you think that sex with her is a much bigger deal than she thinks sex with you is, then that's going to be energetically mismatched, and it's going to creep her out. She's going to be thinking to herself, she's not going to consciously think this, but she's going to pick up on the dissonance, and she's going to be like, something's weird here. Why is he acting this way? Why is he feeling this way? Or he's not really telling me the whole truth about what's going on. Because most guys realize when they're desperate, and they don't promote the fact that they're desperate to the girl. But I would tell you, like, you'd probably be better off telling her that.
Ooh, thirsty, Howie?
But really what I'm saying is don't get desperate in the first place. Don't allow yourself to obsess about one specific outcome because that's just gonna put you further away from that outcome. Instead, ask yourself, okay, am I putting up enough action? Am I putting enough numbers up on the board, right? How many approaches am I making? When I do make those approaches, am I being vulnerable? Am I being authentic? Am I pulling the trigger and telling the girls what I want, that I wanna go on dates and this, that, and the other thing, right? That's what you want to care about. That's what you want to keep in your mind. Because if you follow those best practices, then inevitably, eventually, over time, as has already happened with you at least 3 times so far since April, the outcome that you want will happen, right? It might not be that specific girl, but inevitably and eventually it will happen. So don't obsess over any individual. Now, you can obsess over your girlfriend once she's your girlfriend. Like, you can obsess with making her, you know, like making her feel cared for and happy. You wouldn't really call that obsession at that point. You'd call it cherishing somebody. But like, for example, if she's like, yeah, Richie, I totally love you and you totally love me and I'm your girlfriend, well then, sure, you can worry about her happiness and do things to make her happy and be like, oh, I'm gonna get her a gift because it makes her happy. Oh, I'm gonna speak her love language because it makes her happy. You know, that's fine. But when you're just dating somebody, it's or even before you start dating, it doesn't help you at all to future trip, to get ahead of yourself, to overly invest before you have concrete data. So yeah, you know, be addicted to the process, not the outcome.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with getting jobs too. Like, if you're overly obsessed with like, oh, I must get a job working for Tesla, then you're probably not gonna get that job and you're gonna waste time with all the other things. Where if instead you said, okay, well, I wanna work in like the electric vehicle industry, Well, now that opens the door a lot wider than just Tesla, and maybe after 2 or 3 jobs in the industry, you could work for Tesla eventually, right? But if you said to yourself, I will not be happy until I'm working for Tesla, well, you got to get really lucky really quick, or you're going to be unhappy for a long time.
I feel good. I feel good. It's like that. It always feels good to push through like your comfort zone and actually just do the things you fear. Or even if you go up and approach and get blown out, you look like you look confident. You look like you know what you want. It's all positives, even if it doesn't go well, because 70% of the time they're going to be flattered and say thank you. Do the course. If you are struggling with social anxiety and you want to become more socially free and just push your comfort zone, I definitely recommend it.